Yeah. Trials of faith. Listen. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came too. Oh yeah, he was among them. And the Most High asked, where you coming from? And he said, going fro in the earth. I'm from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said to Satan, how have you considered my servant? That there is none like him in the earth. Perfect. An upright man who feareth God. Satan said, do Job fear you for naught? Have you not made a hedge about him and his house? And everything he has? Man, you bless the works of his hands, his substance is line. Put forth your hands right now and you curse it to the face. Just give me chance to devour. You know I roam around like a lion. You know I've been around for a minute. You know I got tricks, I'ma get them. You know that I'll accuse them. I'ma try him and prove him and cause them to stumble. Oh, they ignorant of my devices. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. Ready for the wiles of the devil. Don't let Satan get advantage over us. Gotta stand against the wiles of the devil. And the Lord said to Satan, look, everything that he has is in your power. The only boundary is don't touch him. And Satan left from the Lord's presence. Then they stole all his asses and oxen. All the Sabians fell upon them. With the sword they had slain Job's servants. And the fire of the Lord had consumed some. And the fire of the Lord burned the sheep. And only I alone escaped to tell thee. But that ain't the worst of it. Your camels also were stolen by Chaldeans. And more servants were killed with the sword. And as I was speaking, there came in another. He said, oh, I got something to tell you. I escaped, but your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking. And the wind came and it blew down the house, and it fell on them all. Now their children are dead and gone. Job arose and he ran his mantle. He fell on the ground and he worshiped. And even through all of this, Job committed no sin nor charged God foolishly. Just give me chance to devour. You know I roam around like a lion. You know I've been around for a minute. You know I got tricks, I'ma get them. You know that I'll accuse them. I'ma try him and prove him and cause them to stumble. Oh, they ignorant of my devices. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil. Don't let Satan get advantage over us. Gotta stand against the wiles of the devil.
Death on the beat, death on the beat, death on the beat.
Wiles of the devil.
Death on the beat, death on the beat.
Gotta stand against the wiles of the devil.
All right, shalom, everybody. Most High in Christ bless. Hope you have had a happy Sabbath day. Just bear with us for a minute or so. I need to share some information real quick. We're gonna get into today's topic. Today's topic is the curses. We're gonna go over some of the curses. You know, many of us have been around for, you know, a short time or maybe even a few years, but it's always good to do some topics over, especially, you know, our people that are new to the faith, just finding out, you know, basically who we are and what we're supposed to do. So it's always good to go over the history and bring forth proof that we are the people. So that's what we're going to be getting into. I got to transfer something. There it is. Make things a little easier. No, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So just bear with us for maybe one more minute. I just sent it. So we're going to be getting into. We're gonna hit a couple of books for scholarship. Just showing some of the curses. And like the last couple of classes, we've been going over some commandments, and the covenant and stuff like that. The covenant that the living God made, beginning with Abraham, and then it went to Isaac, his son, the chosen seed, and then to Jacob, and then to the 12 tribes of Israel, which we are. So we went over that, but today we're going into how we were given an ultimatum. People say, "Oh, you got what's it saying? Not freedom of choice, free will." Mm-hmm. Yeah, God gave us free will. You can try to formulate it like that. He gave us an ultimatum. If you do what I tell you to do, you're going to be blessed above measure. But if not, these curses are going to fall upon you. That's what we're talking about today. So let's start out Ezekiel chapter 3. Let me figure out what verse I want today. Give me Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 6.
Shalom. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 2 and verse 6. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house.
Right. Israel is a rebellious house. The people of the other nations look at us in astonishment. What's the new term they got? Black fatigue? People they're sick of us, but they still haven't figured out that we're the children that have curses on us. We're the children of Israel. Oh, no, God loves everybody. But everybody's not going through these curses that we're going to highlight today. Verse 7.
And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious.
Our people are most rebellious. We're happy as hell when we go out and teach and have just a couple of people listen to us. Our people are rebellious. We are these people in this book. We are those people. Now, you can drop this. We're going to open up with Exodus chapter 3. Now, Aryeh, give me the first picture. First picture I want is Canada, fertile land. I don't know how much attention y'all pay to things that go on in the world, but if you look at the land of Israel, there's even if, let's say, Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, if they show something, a street, you don't see stuff naturally growing there. You don't see a bunch of grass. You don't see green hillsides. You see trees that they have purchased and bought in and planted. And now they got irrigation. When the Lord brings back the children of Israel, it's going to be the Garden of Eden again. It is not the Garden of Eden right now. Exodus chapter 3 and verse 8.
The book of Exodus chapter 3 and verse 8. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up of that land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Right. So the Lord gathered us out of Egypt to put us into a land flowing with milk and honey. Now, when you look at this, you still got the picture up? When you look at this, this is a fertile land right here. And this is Canada. But Jerusalem don't look nothing like that right there. You have, they get some water in the north. But most of this state of Israel, arid, just dry, desert. All right, you can take that picture down. So, the Lord promised to give us a land flowing with milk and honey. Deuteronomy 28:1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. So if we're obedient, he will set us higher than any nation on the earth. Verse 3.
Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Right.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
Right. So everything that we have will be blessed. And in particular right here, what I'm pointing out is the fruit of the ground. The ground would be fertile. But because we transgress, the ground is not fertile. So you got these people in the land now, we call them the 1948ers. Supposedly, God fulfilled his promise and prophecy was fulfilled. And in 1948, they were placed back in the land. And it's been nothing but trouble ever since. You see what's going on over there today. They're getting bombed. They're getting bombed now. But I thought you're supposed to be dwelling safely.
I just saw a video. It was just literally just bombs raining down on Israel. And they were just recording. You hear a baby crying in the background.
Yeah, it was yesterday. But you're supposed to be living safely. If God put you back in the land, you're supposed to be living safely.
Makes 0 sense.
Right. None whatsoever. That's why we call them 1948ers. Because they don't belong there. Give me verse 8.
Verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right. So if the Lord is blessing the land right now, then the storehouses will be filled. Because you'll be storing your crops, your goods that come from the land. But no, when you look into it, Israel has to import. They have to import a lot of things. Verse 10, unless it's something you're thinking about.
No, I was going to read 9 though.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
So 2 things in that. So this is he's going to bless you if you keep the commandments.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
You're not getting any blessings.
And walk in his ways. So we was just joking before we started class. I told the brothers, I said, I got bad news for you. They canceled the gay parade in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv. How you supposed to be, the Lord put you back in the land. The land's supposed to be holy. When you put back in the land, it's supposed to be holy. Hold on, Zechariah 8. It might be verse 9 I want. How did that happen? I was at Zechariah. Somehow I ended up somewhere else. Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 8.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 8. And I will encamp about mine house because of the army, because of him that passeth by, and because of him that returneth. And no oppressor shall pass through them any more, for now I have seen with mine eyes.
All right, so when the Lord returns, when he brings Israel and Judah out of captivity, all 12 tribes, and we're placed back in the land, there's no more oppressors going to come through the land. But you got them in the land fighting against the Palestinians and fighting against the Syrians and fighting against everybody, fighting against Iran, getting bombed by Iran right now. But you're supposed to be living in peace if you're the people. If you're the people. It's obvious that they're not. But what we're getting at here is what happened because of our disobedience. Back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 10. The other thing in verse 9 is walk in his ways. The commandments, keeping the commandments is to walk in the ways of the Lord.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
Meaning they'll see that we have the commandments of God and he is with us. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground,
The fruit of the ground.
and the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
Verse 12 too.
The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give you the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
Now, so this is a promise if we, the children of Israel, kept the commandments of the Lord. Now, again, if the real people were placed back in the land by God, surely they would be getting rain in its season. And the fruit of the ground would be blessed. They would have all these blessings, but you don't see that today. You don't see that at all.
Now that I'm thinking about it, every time you see a picture of Israel, it's just mountains, and then mountains and sand, basically.
Dust, dirt. So the mountains is cool.
Not even, I mean, just mountains and not even dirt, just dust.
Right. The land, because the Lord is the plague is on the land itself. Is what we're getting at. It's on the land itself because of our disobedience. So I show you that the rightful people that own the land, which the right it belongs to the Most High and Christ. But we're joint heirs with Christ. We're supposed to sojourn with Christ, and He divided it unto us. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
So we just read blessings that pertain to the land itself. Yeah, verse 15.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, so also, if you're disobedient, which we were and we are to this day, then all these curses would come upon you and pursue you. You're not going to get away from it. It said, overtake thee. No matter what, whatever the Lord says will come to pass. Now, give me verse 20.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do.
Damn.
Until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
So all these punishments are going to come, these curses are going to come upon us for forsaking the Lord. The main thing that he hates, there's a lot of things that he hates, but the main thing is you looking at some idol that somebody made with their hands and saying, this is my father. That pisses the Lord off. Jeremiah 2. No, Jeremiah 2 and 26, I think.
Yep. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 26. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests and their prophets.
When they do what?
Saying to a stock, Thou art my father, and to a stone, Thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, Arise and save us.
So the Lord knows his people. When you're in trouble, that's when you want to seek the face of the Lord. That's not right. You know that ain't right. Everybody know that ain't right. You don't want to even deal with somebody like if the only time you hear from them is when they need money. You ain't trying. You don't want to deal with them. So why do you think the Lord want to deal with you? Oh, well, he gonna send you blessings. You blessed and highly favored, but the only time you need him is when you destitute and need something. Otherwise, you ain't got nothing to do with him. You ain't doing nothing he say. I want 28, but this. Well, no, let's read verse 28 too.
27. No,
Verse
Yeah,
28.
27.
But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah.
And none of these the gods of these other nations are even real.
The book of Judges, chapter 10 and verse 13. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
I'll make it 3. Habakkuk 2.
I ain't read that script in a while.
Back in like 16 or something like that. Or?
Yeah.
Keep up on the screen, cuz. We just read Judges.
Nah, I was writing down my notes. I was just going places.
That's how class goes.
Yeah, what page is that? I'm having trouble finding it.
1088. Yeah, verse 18.
Oh, yeah.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 10 and verse 8. Chapter 2 and verse 18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it? The molten image and the teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols.
Dumb idols. Oh, my God. Go ahead.
Woe unto him that saith to the wood, Awake, to the dumb stone, Arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
There is no breath. No breath at all. Next verse. But
the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him.
Yeah. Especially their idols. Back to Deuteronomy 28. That's the main thing the Lord has a problem with. Even when you look at
I gotta find it. I think it's somewhere in the middle of the book, though.
what?
The idols talking about Solomon.
You worship the creature more than the creator.
I wasn't even thinking of that
I
one.
know that's Romans 1 and 25, but it's something like that in Wisdom of Solomon.
14.
14 and 12.
Yeah, Wisdom Solomon 14.
Can't walk, can't carry themselves.
All right, Deuteronomy 28 and verse. Did we read 21?
Yes. No, maybe not. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 21. The Lord shall make thee pestilence to cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Right, so we were told when we entered into the covenant here, and this is what Deuteronomy is all about. It's going through the commandments before we go in the land to possess it. So the Lord had Moses repeatedly say, you're going to keep these commandments when you go in the land. If you don't, the land is going to spew your behind out if you be disobedient. It's going to spew you out. The Lord going to spew you out. Jump to 24.
Verse 24. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust from heaven.
Hold on. And that what you say, REA? When you look around, when you think about it, and you look at pictures over there, it's just dust. It's not fertile at all. But that's the Lord's favorite piece of land. But he has smitten it because of our disobedience. Why would you? And everybody wants to be there.
Well, did you see that article? I don't know if it was in our group about this was the ratings of people coming into Israel is actually lowering now.
I wouldn't want to go there either with bombs.
They said this is like the first year I think is the growth hasn't gone up. I think it's going down now.
What was that?
The one I was telling you about.
Wisdom of Solomon?
It's 14 as well as the dividing of idols and spiritual fornication.
But it goes on all the way
that
into the
whole chapter,
20s.
Yeah, I think that whole chapter talks about it.
Yeah, I'm reading through it, but I didn't see the one word.
We'll figure it out later. Verse 24. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 24 again.
The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed.
That causes famine. Go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
The children of Israel are going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And then when you get to the New Testament, and they have to go throughout the earth and preach the gospel, and people think it's talking about other people. They did not enter into a covenant with the living God. Damn. Go ahead. 26.
And thy carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
Right, so the Lord is saying he's going to have us destroyed, put to death, and there's not going to be anybody to clean up the bodies. And our people, we're not even really thinking about, like, all of this stuff. When he said it, it has to come to pass. And it did. It did. All right. Verse 33.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Right. The fruits of thy land and thy neighbors shall a nation eat up. But what we're getting at right now is the land itself. So give me agriculture in Israel. Watch this, y'all.
Solomon 13 and 3, by the way. That's the one I was looking for.
See that, Roy? Oh, no, that's what I gave you.
Yeah,
This is what I said.
The pictures didn't come through.
Oh.
All is this agriculture and water and minor workers.
I wonder why it didn't come through.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, so you got to wait for it. There you go. So this is Wikipedia, y'all.
Agriculture in Israel. Agriculture in Israel is a highly developed industry.
Highly developed industry, meaning they had to develop this. The Lord just ain't sending rain in abundance and causing their crops to grow. They gotta just read on. It'll tell you. It'll tell you.
Israel is an exporter of fresh produce and a leader in agricultural technologies. The southern one half of Israel is desert, and irrigation is required for growing crops.
See, so half of Israel is desert, and they have to irrigate it. Meaning, in other words, they have to bring the water. Go ahead.
The northern one half is more conducive to rain-fed agriculture. According to the World Bank, 29.7% of Israel is agricultural land. The shortage of water is a constraint. In 2008, agriculture represented 2.5% of total GDP and 3.6% of exports. Israel is not self-sufficient in growing food.
Wow. Israel is not self-sufficient in growing food. But these people will have you think that they the people of God. This is not so. This is not so. Another one of the curses is you'll have no might in your hand. But they dropping bombs. They sent, what would they say? They sent 200 jets into Iran dropping bombs. But the real children of Israel are not going to have any might in their hand. But not a single person is picking up the Bible, the Torah, or the Tanakh, and going, wait a minute, this stuff don't line up.
Because they're all reading the Talmud.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In 2021, Israel's agricultural imports totaled 8,791 million, and agricultural exports totaled $2,445 million. Grains, oilseeds, meat, coffee, cocoa, and sugar were among the imports.
Right, go ahead.
Israel is home to two unique types of agricultural communities.
The kibbutz.
Yeah, it's the closed captioning over it. The kibbutz in Mashaf, which developed as Jews, immigrated to the land that became the country of Israel and embarked on rural settlement.
So look, when they first came into the land, I didn't want to get too heavy into the pictures. We got a lot, but I didn't want to get too heavy into it. They show the pictures of them trying to plant and, process the land. And it's just nothing but dirt everywhere. There's nothing growing. Nothing. You can look it up for yourself. Agriculture back in the 40s when they came in. The 30s, the 40s, the 50s. Go ahead. Oh, next one.
As of 2016, kibbutzim provided Israel with about 40% of its agricultural produce.
Now, if you go back to October the 7th, if you look that up and see pictures of the devastation, you'll see the kibbutz, and you'll see they have, they pipe in water. But outside of that, everything around it is dry. It's dust. Like the Lord said, it's dust. Now give me agricultural history. Should be the next one.
Agricultural history. The development of modern agriculture was closely tied to the Zionist movement and Jewish immigration to Ottoman Syria beginning in late 19th century.
Mm-hmm.
By 1900, Jewish sector owned 3.8% of all cultivated lands in Palestine. Jews mostly purchased land near the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Most Palestinian Arabs lived in the highlands and were subsistence farmers growing wheat and barley on rain-fed land.
Yeah, rain-fed land. So this is going back into when these Jewish folks first came into the land. Go ahead.
Both Jewish and Arab farmers initiated growing commercial and exportable crops such as citrus and vegetables in the late 19th century. The development of agriculture near the coast required drainage of swamps and irrigation of malaria. But the land was wonderfully rich and fertile. A 1943 survey concluded that 435,700 or 1,077,000 acres of land in Ottoman Syria, 21st century Israel, the West Bank and Gaza, was cultivated, and that 24.9% of the cultivated land was owned by the European sector, predominantly Jews.
Jewish. Yeah.
Rain-fed cropland made up 91.7% of the total, and 8.3% was irrigated.
All right.
Honestly, you can look anywhere, not even just in Israel. You can look at anywhere they go. Everywhere they go, vegetation, all that stuff is just it disappears basically because of where they are and because of who they are as well.
Well, the most fertile land that's I've ever heard of is in Ukraine and Russia.
I'm not saying it's not the most fertile land, but this type of thing where they gotta import all these goods just to sustain life, that happens everywhere they go.
Oh well, but we're dealing specifically with the state of Israel though, just because of the curses. Because of the curses, none of the land is really putting out the way it's supposed to. Back from the beginning with Adam and Eve. The Lord cursed the land back then. But he was saying it's not going to bring forth its strength. But because of our land, because of our disobedience in our land, it's just dust now. It's dust. Water shortage. Give me that one. Zionist.
Water shortage. The Jewish residents of the new country of Israel gained much farmland when 700,000 Arab Palestinians abandoned or were forced.
That's the Nakba. You ever heard them say the Nakba? Which in Arabic it means the catastrophe. That's when the Jewish people was massacring them and forced them out and forced them into Gaza.
Abandoned though, as if
they
voluntarily left.
So look, this is how they do. So they said when the Israelis attacked Iran the other night, they said they assassinated some of the leaders and said their names right, and then they said it was these so many women and children died. They didn't get murdered. You just said they died. I hate the way they use words, man. I hate it.
They aimed at the leaders, but some of the children died.
You killed them. Yeah. You killed them. You murdered them.
The Jewish residents of the new country of Israel gained much farmland when 700,000 Arab Palestinians abandoned or were forced off the land inside the borders of Israel after the 1948 Arab-Israeli War.
Mm-hmm.
By 2001, 56.5% of the cropland in Israel was irrigated.
56% of it is irrigated. Go ahead.
Since independence, the production of export and commercial crops expanded while the acreage devoted to cultivation of wheat and barley declined. Water shortage is a major problem. Rain falls between September and April, with an uneven distribution across the country, from 28 inches in the north to less than 1 inch in the south.
Damn!
Annual renewable water resources are about 160 million cubic meters, 75% of which is used for agriculture. Most of Israel's freshwater sources have been consequently joined to the national water carrier, a network of pumping stations, reservoirs, canals, and pipelines that transfers waters from the north to the south.
So that water has to be transported from the north to the south. Where, like, we in Richmond right here, the river runs right through the city. And everybody's getting their water off of that source right there. But these folks, they have to have it piped in from the north. That would be like Maryland somewhere. You're getting your water source from Maryland.
And look at that picture. Straight dust.
Hey, that's what the Lord said. All right, give me the next one. Not water short. What's the next one? Next one is. Oh yeah, migrant workers. We're gonna have to pull a couple of scriptures on this one. Just give me the. Well, no, go ahead and read the whole thing.
Migrant workers' condition. Highlighted or the whole page?
No, yeah, read the whole thing. It's important.
By 2023, starting up top.
Yeah, right there.
By 2023, there were between 30 and 40,000 Thai workers working in the Israeli agricultural sector. and were governed by strict rules, such as being unable to raise families in the country and short contracts.
Go ahead.
After the 7th of October 2023 attacks by Hamas, many Thai nationals returned to their home country due to being killed and held hostage in the attacks. This created a vacuum that caused large losses for the farmers and a large influx of about 20,000 workers from Sri Lanka that were expected to arrive to work on the farms in December 2023. In November 2023, the Malawi government made an arrangement by Israeli companies to ferry Malawamian farm workers to work farms in Israel.
Right, so they have to outsource their workers
to cheap labor. That's what that is.
Yeah, and you know, I'm still like looking at this. I'm not getting this. You know, where these people are they're self-sufficient, and they even the U.S. gives them billions of dollars in weapons, and then what they do, pick fights with every damn body. But anyway, it's not anyway. Migrant workers' conditions, stuff that's highlighted in red. Watch this.
Israel agricultural sector's heavy reliance on cheap foreign and migrant laborers has led to abuses and exploitations. To combat
not the holy people,
not usury. That's only amongst themselves. So,
Go ahead.
To combat these violations, the Israeli High Court ruled in 1991 that all Israeli labor laws shall apply to the foreign workforce.
Oh, so the laws that they have should apply to the foreign workforce too, right? Go ahead.
They should have known that already, right? In the Torah.
Right.
Although execution of the law remains difficult.
Execution of it, meaning they're not applying it. Go ahead.
Problematic phenomena remain rampant, and foreign workers continuously suffer from those such as black market laboring, sub-minimum wage, debt bondage, harsh, unsafe, and inhumane work environment, human trafficking, false imprisonment, beatings, suicides, and uninvestigated deaths.
You got man. You got to be
like
kidding.
slavery.
Yeah, you got to be not these people. No, not the holy people. Can't be. Can't be. You can drop this, Aryeh. We're gonna pull a couple scriptures. Leviticus 19. No, they're not supposed to. They can't be treating these workers this way, man. They can't be. Leviticus 19 and verse 13.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
So we know that your neighbor right here is your fellow Israelite, right?
According to them, it is too.
But it's your fellow, because it say neighbor. You should not defraud thy neighbor. So your fellow Israelite, you're not supposed to do this to them. However, jump down to verse 33. Pick back up at verse 33.
Verse 33. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land.
So if a stranger, girl, in the car, right? Go ahead.
Ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you. And thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
So the Lord is saying that you're supposed to treat them the same way that you would treat your own brother and sister. Meaning apply the freaking commandments. So that same commandment applies to them when they own your land. You're not supposed to vex them. You were slaves in Egypt, so you should know what it feels like to have that done to you. So don't reciprocate that and do it to somebody else that's sojourning on your land. Are these 1948ers, are they doing this? Are they doing that? Even though they made the legislation, are they applying that legislation? No. They do the same thing here in this place. Keep going. 35 and 36.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure.
Meaning, like they not even making minimum wage. All across the board, man. Just all across the board. All of this ultimately goes back to us being disobedient, and then we got kicked off the land. Now the land is suffering. Now we're suffering. And our greatest enemy is ruling over every freaking body. 36 the last one.
Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Right. Now, this one for you, Aryeh. Desert agriculture. Pull that up. Yeah, that's the Holy Land with the holy people on it.
I was looking at Ezekiel 7:21. And I will give it to the hands of the strangers for
Oh, yeah. The worst of the heathen. Yep, the worst of the heathen.
the wicked of the earth for his spoil. They shall pollute it. They don't even like healthy. They like a bunch of sand around some plants.
It is. It's irrigation. Look at that. They have the water piped in. You see that?
Yeah, that's a different picture than what you got.
Oh, that's number one. Yeah, you look around it, you see the broader picture. Now, give me the next. There's another one next to it. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Dang. Sand. Just dust and sand. All right, you can drop that now. That's what it looks like over there. It's not the Lord did that. It's not fertile at all. It's Israel is his favorite place. It's his favorite piece of land. Deuteronomy 28. Let's go to verse 38.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 38. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it.
All right, go ahead.
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine, nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coast, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit.
And even to this day, you have some, because the Palestinians have been growing olive trees, and even when you pull those up, you'll see little patches of olive trees. You'll see little patches of trees here and there, and then around it, dust. Dust.
That's how I looked when I was in Greece. Dirt, dust everywhere.
The Lord sending the plague. Verse 63.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And if ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Right, so the land is cursed now, and then we got plucked off of the land for our disobedience, y'all, for not keeping the commandments of the Lord. Give me 1 Kings 9. This is the Lord speaking to Solomon after he built the temple. Start at verse 5. 1 Kings 9 and 5.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 9 and verse 5. Okay. Then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel.
Right.
Verse 6. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them.
That's the number one. That's why this is the first commandment, period. You shall have no other gods before me. If you go and do that, what did Solomon do? What he ended up doing?
Building altars for some idols.
Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them,
Well, that happened to us. We got cut off out the land. Go ahead.
and this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight. And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
Hold on. He said, then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house. And this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And at this house which is high, everyone that passeth by, it shall be astonished, and shall hiss. And they shall say, why hath the Lord done thus unto this land and to this house?
Damn, even to this day, if you go over to the land, you'll see what they call the Temple Mount. But the temple itself is gone. And then at the retaining wall, you got them folks over there rocking back and forth. The small hats. But everything that the Lord is saying, all this stuff come true. And then you have people that be like, I don't believe in that book. Come on, man. Then you have the super ignorant ones talk about, show me anybody in that book. Show me the bones. Show me the grave. Go ahead.
And they shall answer, because they forsook the Lord their God, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods.
Other gods. We forsook our God and took hold of other gods. Come on.
And have worshipped them and served them. Therefore hath the Lord brought upon them all this evil.
See, because of doing this. And the Lord said, he had Moses tell everybody and write it down. Don't serve these other gods. If you serve these other gods, if you follow their ways, I'm going to destroy you. And the land too, make the land desolate. You can drop that. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43. So we're done with the land right now. Now we're going to change our focus. Give me first Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Right. So the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. Give me Herod. I think I'll just go over a lot of people's head. It was Amalek. The same people that are over there now was over us then.
I don't got Herod up here. After that, I got picking cotton, family picking cotton.
Go all the way to the top if you have to.
60,
It's a bunch.
60 Minutes, Slave Trade Database, History of the Jews, 85, 84, 81, Voyage 1 through 6.
Keep going.
That's it.
There's no Herod.
I mean, I'm going to read over it again. But yeah, there's no Herod. Like I said, there's the ones that you read, and then you got Picking Cotton, Voyages 1 through 6, History of the Jews, 81, 84, and 85, Slave Trade Database, and 60 Minute Slave Ship.
I could have sworn I had it. So in this book, History of the Jews, I'll just read what I got. No, I mean, but I separated it from them.
I was just looking, maybe you probably marked it wrong.
You see it? No, I'm talking. Well, you see it on mine.
I see it in your notes, but you don't have the pics.
Yeah. I too late now. So, upon it said, so it comes out of my book, History of the Jews by Hannah Adams, and all it is just saying that Herod, a stranger and Idumean, ascended the throne of Judea. So he was made king of Judea / king of the Jews. And he is an Edomite. The stranger that was within got up above us very high. Our arch enemy. So that Deuteronomy 28:43, that's what this is talking about. It's talking about them, and they are our main enemy, got up above us very high. Now, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right. So this is talking about, when you look at this in its context, this is talking about the Romans with the eagle and that. Oh, I hate when that happens. It popped up on my screen like I was searching. When the Romans came. The Romans came against the quote unquote Jews, the southern kingdom of Israel. And they exalt themselves as the eagle, which is, we know, is the Edomites. Verse 50.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Right. This is talking about the Romans when they came and attacked Jerusalem on the Passover, no less. Verse 51.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
All right, so hold tight. So give me History of the Jews 1. So they can see this picture. This is the book, History of the Jews, from the destruction of Jerusalem to the present time, by Hannah Adams. Huh? What's that?
This is History of the Jews.
No, it's just, we behind showing the last picture you had.
Oh. Oh, that was a class picture right there.
From the History of the Jews.
You showed the picture?
Yeah, right. It's right here. History of the Jews.
The book cover.
History of the Jews. This is it.
You had it up there earlier. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not.
That's a
The book.
completely different book right there.
I don't know what the heck just happened, but I clicked History of the Jews and clicked. Oh, there you go. There it is now. What the heck just happened?
Yeah, because that's a whole nother book right there, and that's the end.
No, hold on. It ain't came up for us.
Nah, I
That's-
just changed it. Nah, I'm just.
Okay.
The
No, it's
history-
just what you had. What was up there before? That's from another completely different book. A book sitting right in front of your lap. Okay, this is the book, History of the Jews by Hannah Adams. Now, History of the Jews, page 81. Just give me the highlighted stuff, real well. So this is going into what happened when Titus and Vespasian came and destroyed Jerusalem at Passover.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
The History of the Jews, page 81. But at length an affair took place in Jerusalem, which filled the inhabitants with consternation and despair, and the Romans with horror and indignation. A Jewess, eminent for birth and opulence, rendered frantic with her sufferings, was reduced to the dreadful extremity of killing and feeding upon her infant. Titus, being apprised of his inhuman deed, swore the total extirpation of the accursed city and people, and called heaven to witness that he was not the author of their calamity.
Yeah, well, he was the vessel used for it. He's a vessel of wrath for the Most High. Like Paul said, the Lord suffered the vessel of wrath unto destruction. When they're finished doing their job, they're going to get destroyed. They are the vessel of wrath. But this is fulfilling prophecy. We're going to get to the prophecy in a second. Give me page 84. History of the Jews, page 84.
You want scripts in between this, or you want to go through all of them?
No, we're going to read the next one, and then we'll go back to the script for a second.
Because this is definitely verse 53.
Yeah. Yeah. When we pick back up, we're going to pick back up at 52, though. Read where it says thus.
Thus or Titus?
Oh, Titus. I'm sorry.
That was the history of the Jews, page 84. Titus, being awakened by the outcry, hastened to the spot and commanded his soldiers to exert themselves to the utmost to extinguish the fire.
Because they had started a fire. Remember, Christ said it was going to be burnt to the ground.
He called, urged, and threatened his men. But so great was the clamor and tumult that his entreaties and menaces were alike disregarded.
Mm-hmm.
The exasperated Romans, who resorted thither from the camp, were engaged either in increasing the conflagration of killing the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
The dead were heaped up about the altar, and a stream of blood flowed at its steps.
See that? The dead were heaped about the altar. And then I got the scripture there, Leviticus 26 and 30. Might as well go there.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 30. And I will destroy your high places and cut down your images and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you.
Read 29 too.
Verse 29. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat.
Damn. All right, back to Deuteronomy 28, pick up at 52.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down.
Yep.
Wherein thou trustedest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
There's only certain times that the Lord, when someone came, because they were sent by the Most High anyway, where Israel was preserved or Judah was preserved. There's certain times, like the Lord didn't allow the Babylonians to take Judah, well, not Jerusalem, but he allowed them to take Lachish, the Jews at Lachish, even though he killed 180-something thousand of their men. But everything that the Lord said is going to come to pass, it's going to come to pass, man. Ain't no way around it. Now, verse 53.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
70 A.D. Go ahead.
So that the man that is tender among you, and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
That's twofold. Go ahead.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left in him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
There had to be something terrible, man.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
Even to this day, man. Even to this day, yo. But it's twofold. Go ahead.
And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
Mm-hmm.
If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God.
Right. So if you not obedient, all of this is going to happen. That show you they didn't believe. They did not believe what Moses wrote, man. How can you be that disobedient and say you believe? We believe in Moses. Really? All right, give me History of the Jews 85. It started from the top.
History of the Jews, page 85. Had fled to a gallery, yet standing without the temple, perished at once by the relentless barbarity of the soldiers, who set it on fire, and suffered none to escape.
This is picking up what we was reading about Herod. I mean, not Herod, but Titus.
The conquerors carried their fury to such an height as to massacre all they met without distinction of age, sex, or quality. They also burnt all the treasure houses containing...
Hold on 1 second. So, just you stay right there. I'm going to read this verse again. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. This is exactly what these eyewitnesses wrote, man. This is exactly what the Lord had prophesied. Go back to this scholarship, the book.
They also burnt all the treasure houses, containing vast quantities of money, plate, and the richest furniture. In a word, they continued to mark their progress with fire and sword, till they had destroyed all except 2 of the temple gates, and that part of the court which was destined for the women.
Right. So remember, there was a place for the women at the temple, and then you had an outer court for the heathen. Now, let's go to Luke 19. Christ read, of course, he's in the synagogue and had it read to him on a many a Sabbath, Deuteronomy 28. So Christ understands all through the Spirit, because he was a quick understanding. He understood all this. Let's start at verse 20. Luke 19 and 41 first. Yeah.
The book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 41. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying.
So he know, because he know the prophecy. Go ahead.
Saying, if thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side.
So how he know? He know through the prophecy. Go ahead.
And shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
Right.
And he went into the temple, and began to cast out them that sold therein, and them that bought, saying unto them.
Oh, you good. We really should have stopped at 44, but and shall leave thee even with the ground. The temple was going to be destroyed completely, and thy children within thee. Yeah, and they shall not leave one stone upon another, because you know it's not the time of that visitation, meaning you didn't understand that I was here for y'all. But it was all prophesied anyway. Now, chapter 21, and start at verse 20.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter in therein too.
So when you see the Romans come and flee and don't come back, don't come back. So this is it. This is it. He know that the siege and all of this stuff is coming. Verse 22.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
What we read out of Deuteronomy 28 and in Leviticus 26. Go ahead.
But woe unto them that are with child.
Remember, the woman, she going to have to eat her child. The man and the woman going to eat their child. Go ahead.
And to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
To this very day. So that 70 AD began the bulk of the curses and us being scattered. This is when it really began. Now, so you will be led away captive into all nations. A lot of us fled into Africa. We fled into Egypt and then into Sudan and further being chased by the Romans until we end up in the western banks of Africa. And then we already had our people scattered to most places anyway. But over time, we came to be enslaved. So during when the 1400s came, then we started getting sent into slavery, being made slaves everywhere. So it took a long time, the course of time, for all of this to develop. Now, let's see. Give me. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. So Christ said we're going to be led away captive into every nation. Now, Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
The worst thing, we already now, so we've been so damn disobedient, the Lord has kicked us off the land. He's removed us from the land and now scattered us amongst every nation under heaven. And you're going to be worshiping gods of wood and stone. Trouble, yo. Adding sin to sin. You want to bring something up? Verse 65.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God give it were even? And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning? For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
I know the sight of my eyes, I hate the sight of my eyes because of the things that I see on this place, in this place.
Brother at camp said the same thing. Brother said that he was studying.
Yeah.
He said he hate what he see going on around here.
Right. I mean, how could you not? And like verse 66 say, your life hang in doubt before thee. Let the cops get behind you. I know it's damn near cliche, but it's true. They get behind you, man. Ain't no telling what'll happen to you. They don't treat us the way that they treat themselves. That's for sure. And in the morning, you're like, man, I wish it was night. And then at night, you're like, I wish it was the morning. You get up in the morning like, damn, I wish I was getting off because now I got to go to work. You know, and work hard for these people. Then you come home, then you get terrified by the Klan at night or terrified by whoever at night. I'm like, damn, I wish it was the morning. Lord, let me make it to the morning.
And when the morning time comes, dang, he make it to the night.
Right.
One of our brothers, before he came into this, he said his people's, like, she would stay up all night because the sun was in the streets, and they, even during the day, like, they barely slept with him growing up because of how, because of how he was.
All the things going on, right? Yeah. Now, give me verse 28.
Verse 28.
So you see how all of this goes together. So we went through like the things that was happening in the siege, because this is leading up. This, like, the siege is talking about 70 A.D. mainly. There was another siege before, a couple cities. I mean, several cities. The northern kingdom was besieged. Lachish was besieged. Jerusalem was besieged a couple of times, but this was the main one. And everybody after this, we was carried away captive. That's what we're going into now, being carried away captive into other nations. Now, verse 28 is how.
68?
Yeah, 28:68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Captivity again with ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Mm-hmm.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Put that picture up of the 60-minute slave ships. Yeah, and the only reason I wanted to show a slave ship period is because so many people now are saying, oh, there ain't no slave. Where the slave ships are? Well, that was 150 years ago. The first ones was what, in the 1400s.
Some of y'all decks,
It's ridiculous.
Some of y'all back decks is falling apart. And you ain't got to
After 5 years. Yeah, deck falling apart after 5 years. You talking about something, where the slave ships at? Utterly ridiculous. We were brought over here on slave ships en masse. These people recorded it. They wrote it down in their ledgers. They have the names and everything. We were property with names.
Just like how people in the military they say, yeah, man, I flew in this war, man. I done did this. Same thing with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, give me the slave trade database. There is one. Even though we weren't brought here in slaves, and there's no slave ships, but there's a slave, transatlantic slave trade database where they have all the records, man. And we got all these different books that tell you where they took us from, even down to how many of us they took from each place.
Mm-hmm. And they got it in African American Museum, too.
Mm-hmm. Got it in books here. Where's the book? I know one of the books I got about New Orleans, the Creole, something like that, and it tells you how many they took from Wada, from Judah, in these different places. A couple of these books I got.
I'm looking at it right now.
And I got another book called The Negro. I can't remember the name of the book, but it details every single place that they were taking us out of West Africa. Yeah, just hold tight. Now give me.
Read it?
Is there anything to read?
I mean, just basically just giving a summary.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
The Transatlantic Slave Trade Database. The database compiles information about more than 36,000 voyages that forcibly transported enslaved Africans across the Atlantic between 1514 and 1866.
So, and this is talking about
52 years.
So, and see, all this, that it started with Christopher Columbus, but they got 1514. In 1505 is when the Spanish and Portuguese got permission from the Pope of the Catholic Church to start bringing, quote unquote, Africans to the New World and making them slaves. That's when they got permission. 1505. All of this stuff right at the same time. This is Revelation 13. But you had 1492, Christopher Columbus coming over here. So within what, 20 years, well, 25 years, you bringing slaves, setting up everything, setting up shop. They was already taken into South America.
Intra-American Slave Trade Database. This database contains information on more than 11,000 maritime voyages trafficking enslaved people within the Americas. These slave trades operated within colonial empires across imperial boundaries and inside the borders of nations such as the United States and Brazil.
Yep, from the north all the way to the south of the Western Hemisphere. Now, so when we got here, then what? We know we were sold to our enemies. Give me picking cotton. And it's all true. And people, you have naysayers. I don't understand a Christian pastor coming against the teachings of the Israelites.
I'm looking through the list. There's just all the, it's 30, there's 2,400 different pages of all the results of like the slave ships, the year, ID, and all this other crap.
That's how they can tell you that it was 12 million that were brought over here. That's registered. That's documented. Not the ones that were snuck over.
And that's just the imports to America. It's not even talking about the ones they exported from America.
Oh yeah.
Or the Caribbeans and islands.
All right, that picture. Yeah. Which one is that? Oh yeah. All right, now give me Yeah, so this is what happened when we got here. It's our people picking cotton. Now the next one, family picking cotton. And all of this, man, goes back to the curses, man. It's because of our disobedience. See that whole family out there. Women.
No child labor laws back then.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That one today kids had to start working in the factories. And that went to the early 1900s.
Now give me the slave overseer one. Whole families out there picking cotton, man. So see, I mean, and this is us. This is the journey or the history of our people. You know, and people be asking us, "Yo, you not the Israelite? Why you think you the Israelite? What are you talking about?" If you read like we read and look up history, be like, how can you deny it? That's why I rarely even see people deny it now. Somebody might try to make a point or something. Even the apologetics ain't saying, no, y'all ain't the people. How can they do that? They wouldn't have a leg to stand on. Anyway, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and wrap this up.
What song you want, Jake?
Yo, pastor.
Yeah. Shalom Israel. Future world of Israel. Listen. Your pastor can't teach me nothing. He's leading you straight in the gutter. Your preacher a thief, a con artist. He's raising a flock full of zombies. He can read but don't see the words, making you hope that he would confirm. That's absurd. He keep talking about peace when there wasn't a smooth operator. A zombie of zombies. Oh, somebody gave me the cure. I was on the pulpit playing keyboard. Never thought that I would live until I started living. Where my little brother showed me that Christmas was wicked. Yeah, I was talking about some happy birthday, baby Jesus. Now I know I'm born again, I grew up from a fetus. Never stressing over a bunch of foolish unbelievers. Steady preaching to the wind, Lord knows what we're receiving. I'ma do the work, oh there's a lot to do. Dismantling strongholds used to seduce. Dismantling every lie to try to say the truth. See, we don't deal with heads, say we dealing with the proof. Or you listen to Farrakhan, you a bunch of fools. Egyptology and science wanna be them stools. First they never teach religion, y'all is too confused. And television these days made for the coons. Building from the ground up, we gon' need elevators. I done took the blue pill, I ain't talking matrix. I'm just trying to get home like I'm running bases. Christ already prophesied the world gonna hate us. Romans 3 and 3 for what or something I believe. Would they change anything? Nigga please. Hold my people humble down so that they can see. And reject that false religion, learning slavery. But your pastor can't teach me nothing. He'd only leave me in the gutter. Your preacher a thief, a con artist. He's raising a flock full of zombies. He can read but don't see the words, making you hope that he would confirm. That's absurd. He keep talking about peace when there wasn't a smooth operator. A zombie of zombies. Oh Lord, had a prayers of the dead Israelites. Oh Lord, had the prayers of the dead Israelites. And the prayers of their children who have sinned and have not listened to you. For which cause these plagues cleave to us. Somebody gave me the cure. I was on the pulpit playing keyboard. I got 2 uncles who got churches. All praises to the Lord for his watchmen. Cause they showed me and they hearkened. He gave the spirit so that I could understand his doctrine. All my people still don't even understand these verses. They the congregation of the dead. Hearses, we the sheep that have gone astray. The same 12 Christ is gonna save. Since the wilderness like Moses said, taken by ships and sold slaves. They don't even know this history. They don't understand the prophecies. I pray the Lord that he will make them see, so we can reign for eternity. And that's why I'm telling you, your pastor can't teach me nothing. He'd only leave me in the gutter. Your preacher a thief, a con artist. He's raising a flock full of zombies. He can read but don't see the words, making you hope that he would confirm. That's absurd. He keep talking about peace when there wasn't a smooth operator. A zombie of zombies. Oh Lord, and the prayers of the dead Israelites. Oh Lord, and the prayers of the dead Israelites. And the prayers of their children who have sinned and have not listened to you. For which cause these plagues cleave to us. Your pastor can't teach me nothing. He'd only leave me in the gutter. Your preacher a thief, a con artist. He's raising a flock full of zombies. He can read but don't see the words, making you hope that he would confirm. That's absurd. He keep talking about peace when there wasn't a smooth operator. Zombie of zombies. Oh Lord, dead Israelites. At the prayers of the dead Israelites. And their children, which cause these plagues cleave to us.
All right, y'all, we back. We're going to jump back into it. This is a book I've had for a while. I've had it for maybe 5 or 6 years. Give me Voyage 1. This is a book by Hans Sloane. So this was I think he was a botanist, and he went to Jamaica. He was in it. Jamaica, Madeira, Barbados. He was in these islands, and he was, finding plants and stuff like that. So he did this huge book about plants, but he did this one too about the things that he saw while he was there. So guess what he witnessed? He witnessed the slave trade. He witnessed parts of the slave trade that some people say it never existed, never happened. Give me Voyage 2. Let's read some of the stuff that he wrote.
History and Geography. A Voyage to the Islands, Madeira, Barbados, Naives, Christophers, and Jamaica.
Oh, yeah. Good. Is it up yet?
The introduction. Their little ones are not black, but reddish brown when first born.
Mm-hmm.
From several countries, they are of the deeper or paler color. When the same persons are paler than ordinary,
is a sign of sickness. Remember those, not F's, the S's.
Yeah, no, that is messed me up. Is a sign of sickness. Their color is heightened by anointing with palm or any other oil.
So y'all remember on the Amistad when they was taking them to put them on the auction blocks and they put palm oil on them to make them shine? That's what you're talking about.
When a Guinea, am I saying that right?
Guinea.
When a Guinea ship comes near Jamaica with blacks to sell, there is great care taken that the Negroes should be shaved, trimmed, and their bodies and hair anointed all over with palm oil.
Right. So hold on. So Guinea is West Africa. It's like a region. You can't nail it down into one country. It's a region. So ships coming from Guinea, coming from West Africa. Go ahead.
Which adds a greater beauty to them. The planters choose their Negroes by the country from whence they came and their look. The blacks from the East Indies are fed on flesh and fish at home, and therefore are not coveted because troublesome to nourish, and those from Angola run away from their masters.
So the blacks from the East Indies are fed on flesh and fish, so this makes them expensive to feed and not coveted. And then those from Angola run away from their masters. So go ahead, I'm not going to.
And fancy on their deaths, they are going home again, which is no lucrative experiment. For in hard usage they kill themselves.
Yeah, kill themselves. Okay, what's the next one? 3?
2.
No,
That was 2.
No, this is
Voyage
3. Yeah. Oh, you okay?
They kill themselves.
Same book, first full paragraph. When I was at Laguini, I was told that at the plantation of Captain Hudson, there was a young woman white all over, born of a black mother.
What's that?
Albino.
Yeah, albino.
I had the curiosity to go and see her, and Mrs. Hudson did me the favor to send for her. She was 12 years old and perfectly white all over, middle-sized, broad-faced, flat-nosed, ill-favored, and countenance like a black.
But she was white all over, but she got black features. Go ahead.
Her hair was fair and white, but not like ours.
Not
lank like ours, or half lank, half woolly like those of mulattoes, but short, woolly, and curled like those of the blacks in Guinea.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So this white man, this precious white man is saying that the blacks of Guinea had woolly hair? You remember
White
Jacob
woolly
Israel
hair?
trying to say that Jewish people had woolly hair? That's really woolly hair? What we have is something different?
or that Dave posted posted with a picture of a goat.
That one goat.
With the straight
Her mother had been bought by Captain Hudson on her landing in Jamaica, about 11 weeks before her delivery of this daughter. Her mother was perfectly black and related that once before the Guinea, her own country, she had been brought to bed of a white boy by a black father. 'Tis very likely the mother might have been
a white boy. She lay with a white boy by a black father. So he was albino too. Tis.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where I'm at in this next picture. 'Tis very likely the mother might have been sold on this occasion. For as Juan dos Santos tells us that these white children born of black parents are worshipped in those parts of Ethiopia he lived in, as the offspring of the gods.
So they was worshipped as offspring of the gods.
So in others, is my memory does not fail me, they are put to death for being reputed the children of the devil.
Esau. Oh, that's the children of the devil. Okay. Voyage 5. So I came to this book just to show that we were, because the way that it was done, they would season you. They send you to the Caribs first, send you to the islands first, in that heat out there, and if you could last a year, then they would sell you to North America. It's called seasoning.
I saw this in harbor and bay, a ship come from Guinea, loaded with blacks to sell. The ship was very nasty with so many people on board. I was afraid that the Negroes feed on pindles, or Indian earth nuts, a sort of pea or bean producing its pods on the ground. Coming from Guinea hither, they are fed on these nuts, or Indian corn boiled whole twice a day, at 8 o'clock and 4 in the afternoon, each having a pint of water allowed him. The Negroes from Angola and Gamba are not troubled with worms, but those from the Gold Coast very much.
That's why I got Ghana right there, because Ghana was, the Gold Coast was Ghana. Gold Coast, Ivory Coast, that area. Oh, read that.
I was informed here that ewes bring forth twice in 15 months without any regard to the time of the year.
So,
but cow...
Yeah, ewe is a female cow. Now, voyage 6.
But cows bring forth their young according to the seasons of Europe. I saw some Guinea sheep. They were brought by a ship from that country, being provided by the commander to eat at sea. But when the ship arrived, they were presented to a planter in Laguini. They are like goats in every respect, having for the most put black and white short hair, like that of 6 weeks or a month old calf. They are much less than goats, multiply very fast, and are very
sweet meat.
Okay, sweet meat.
Don't say that around P. Diddy now. All right, so that was just to show that we came over on slave ships. That was the main way of transporting slaves throughout the earth, because they would take our people from South Africa and East Africa and brought us and took us to the east, all the way to Japan, China, Australia. They did that at this time too. So they took us all over. Now, Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29 and verse 1. These are the words of the covenant, which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb.
Right. Now, jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath.
So not just everybody that was standing there at this day right here. It's not just everybody there. Go ahead.
But with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also with him that is not here with us this day.
Right, meaning future generations. It ain't talking about the damn heathen like Dave and them try to imply. It's talking about our offspring. Because remember, the promise is to the seed of Israel. Go ahead.
For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. And ye have been their abomination, and you have seen their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them.
So, and keep in mind, so when the Lord said abomination, he's talking about their gods. He calls them abominations. Come on.
Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our God, to go and serve the gods of these nations. Lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood.
Right. So see how, excuse me, how the Lord keeps saying that main thing: do not serve other gods. Do not serve them. Do not worship them. Do not bow down to them. I am the Lord your God. Understand that. That's the greatest thing that you can have, is the Most High as your God. And you being his people. Because that ain't for everybody. Verse 19.
And it came to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst.
That is not, I'll just say it's not smart at all for you to do that. Go ahead.
The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in his book shall lie upon him, and the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven.
Oh my goodness. So you read, so that book with the names in it, you read about that in Exodus 32. And that's the names of the children of Israel. That's whose names are in this book. And you get the revelation. If your name is not found in the book, if your name has gotten blotted out, what's the main thing? Worshiping other gods. If your name has been blotted out, you ain't getting the kingdom. You're getting everlasting destruction. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in his book of the law.
Damn. Go ahead.
So that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of the land,
See the plagues of the land. Go
and
ahead.
the sickness which the Lord hath laid upon it.
That's funny. When they see the plagues of the land, you see it today. With all that they trying to do out there with the irrigation, piping in water. That joint is dust. It's dust. Go ahead.
And that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning that is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein.
Damn, that's the day, yo. That's the day. Go ahead.
Like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admon, and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land?
Like, why did the Lord do this to this land? This is the promised land.
What meaneth the heat of this great anger?
Go ahead.
Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
We forsook the covenant. And what's the covenant? Deuteronomy 4 and 13 tell you that the covenant is the commandments.
What's crazy is I'm looking at a map of Israel, and they got a whole ocean, not ocean, the Mediterranean Sea right beside them, and they still.
It's because the Lord did it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
y'all got a whole ocean beside you, but then y'all still wondering why it's practically a drought out there.
What you going to say?
Oh, no, I was about to keep reading. But.
Oh, go ahead.
For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom had in whom he had not given unto them.
So you can see why the Lord said, if you worshiping white man Jesus, you're done. You're finished. You're finished. That ain't the God of Israel. Go ahead.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land,
The land,
to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book.
damn, upon the land and the people. Go ahead.
And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger,
Mm-hmm.
and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as it is this day.
Even to this day, we are in other lands. We're every damn where else. Go ahead.
The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law.
Anytime some Edomites trying to tell you what the Bible means, bring them right here and say it's not given to you, sir, to understand the scriptures. It's only for the children of Israel. I give a damn what y'all say. And stop trying to take me to the definition of words. You got stop it. Now, 1 Kings 8. So we have been smitten, the land has been smitten, and we are as this day, in the land of our captivity. 1 Kings 8 and 46. What do we have to do while we're in captivity?
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 46. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them,
He was.
and deliver them to the enemy,
He did.
so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
And they did.
Yet, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives,
Bethink yourself in the land where you were carried captive. Bethink yourself.
And
Wait
repent.
a minute. Who are we? Why is all of this happening to us?
and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned, and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness.
Right. So in the place where we were carried captive, we always go to Ezekiel. Say, get to them of the captivity and tell them, thus saith the Lord God. No, you want to
I'm going to find it. I don't know exactly where it's at.
What did it say?
Something the same along. I think it's Baruch 3 or Baruch 2. Themselves in that captivity.
We are yet this day in captivity. It might be 2.
That's what I was just going to look at it. Oh, yeah, verse 30. The book of Baruch, chapter 2 and verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves.
Damn, they shall remember themselves.
And shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name.
Keep going.
And return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord.
34.
And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Damn.
And they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished.
Read.
And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
Awesome precept. Awesome precept. 1 Kings 8 and now 48.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 48. And so return unto thee with all their heart, and with all their soul, in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee.
Damn.
And all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee. And give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be thy people, and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of iron.
Right. The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. All praises to the Most High.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
And there you have it. Because of our disobedience, the land is smitten, our people are smitten, and we were cast out and into captivity. And everybody, all the law and the prophets and Christ is all saying the same thing. And what do we got to do? Repent ye, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, y'all. That's it for class. The curses. We went into captivity and we have curses upon us for our disobedience. I'm your brother Jacob.
And Brother Roy.
And Arye on OBS. With that, y'all, we say shalom.
Death on the beat, death on the beat, death on the beat, death on the beat.
Yeah. Trials of faith. Listen. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came too. Oh yeah, he was among them. And the Most High asked, where you coming from? And he said, going fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said to Satan, how have you considered my servant, that there is none like him in the earth,
Death on
perfect,
the beat, death on the
an
beat.
upright man who feareth God. Satan said to Job, fear you for naught? Have you not made a hedge about him and his house and everything he has? Man, you bless the works of his hands, his substance is line. Put forth your hands right now and you curse it to the face. Just give me chance to devour. You know I roam around like a lion. You know I've been around for a minute. You know I got tricks, I'ma get 'em. You know that I'll accuse them. I'ma try him and prove him and cause them to stumble. Oh, they ignorant of my devices. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no.
Death on the beat, death on the beat, death on the
They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. They ain't ready for the wiles of the devil, no. Ready for the wiles of the devil. Don't let Satan get advantage over us. Gotta stand against the wiles of the devil. And the Lord said to Satan, look, everything that he has is in your power. The only boundary is don't touch him. And Satan left from the Lord's presence. Then they stole all his asses and oxen. All the Sabians fell upon them. With the sword they had slain Job's servants. And the fire of the Lord had consumed some. And the fire of the Lord burned the sheep. And only I alone escaped to tell thee. But that ain't the worst of it. Your camels also were stolen by Chaldeans. And my servants were killed with the sword. And as I was speaking, there came in another. He said, oh, I got something to tell you. I escaped, but your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking. And the wind came and it blew down the house. And it fell on them all. Now thy children are dead and gone. Job arose and he ran his mantle. He fell on the ground and he worshiped. And even through all of this, Job committed no